All of us have little tweaks, twinges here and there. We reach for something, feel a pull in the back. We reach up to the top shelf, you feel something in your shoulder. But it always, for most people, it goes away. It's those people where it lingers, or they notice a change, and then over time they're like, well, now I can't reach as high as I used to, or I can't lift that weight over my shoulder like I used to. Those are the ones where I'm like, well, maybe you should get it looked at, because although it might not be anything serious, sometimes it's good to know what you have. Then you can kind of deal with it over time. You can watch it for a bit, and if it needs treatment, whether it's therapy, shot of cortisone, MRI, surgery, that we kind of figure out over time. For all of us, we hit a certain age in life and we start to feel like our bodies are failing us or falling apart. And it's natural course of aging. Muscles weaken, bones weaken, joint surfaces kind of wear down, which is what arthritis is, and that's natural. But if you can function and do most things, most people live with it. And I'm sure all of us have flare-ups. You do something on a Saturday and you might pay for it on Sunday and Monday, but it does get better. I usually get a little bit more worried when those symptoms start to persist, and 2-3 days turns into a week or two, and all of a sudden now you're not working out like you used to, or you're not trimming that bush or hanging curtains. You're asking for help, and the loss of motion is one thing to look for. A painful swollen joint is obviously a red flag. Clicking, catching is normal part of arthritis, but sometimes that clicking and catching could be painful, it could be non-painful. I get more worried when it's painful. It's when the clicking and catching turns into locking and things, you have to unhinge the joint, so to speak. That's when I get a little bit more worried too, because something could be getting stuck. But luckily we have imaging, so we start with x-rays and take a look, and if needed, MRI helps figure out some of the soft tissue problems in hip, knee, shoulder, multiple joints. But you have to start somewhere. You have to make that decision in time, say, look, I've given it enough time, I feel limited, I can't do things the way I used to do it, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Some of that's normal aging, but there are some things that we can fix or help or give advice. Sometimes it's not surgeries or shots, it's just giving people advice on activity modification, physical therapy, adding certain exercises, avoiding certain exercises. Those are all things we can help people with, but the first step is you got to come in to get seen. I usually have the feeling that people hurt for a reason. There's either something going on or something happened that caused the change. And those are more often in acute injuries versus a chronic over time kind of change. But I tell people, whether they're high school athletes or elderly people just trying to exercise, you do have to listen to your body, because that's the only feedback you get. It's either going to hurt, it's going to swell, it's going to cause lingering symptoms over time. And if you don't listen to your body and ignore things, there are certain injuries and problems that you kind of either miss the boat or you wait too long, and it does change treatment options. And to me, getting information, whether it's an x-ray or an MRI or just getting advice from a doctor, at least that might give you some options as, well, I can wait on this, or this should really be seen and treated sooner than later.